Okay, so this video is going to talk about the California bar exam. Now, one thing that you should do before you take a bar exam is go to the website and look at what the bar examiners are telling you the bar exam is going to be like. There can be some pretty helpful information in there. So here on the screen I've got the State Bar of California Committee for Bar Examiners Office of Admissions information package about the description and grading of the bar exam. So it starts off with a basic introduction about the bar exam, talks about the attorney's exam, then it gets to timing. This is interesting here. The sentence up here, applicants using a laptop must be seated no later than 8:20 a.m. All applicants seated no later than 8:30. So I've said it many times before and I'll say it again. This is when your brain needs to start working. 8:20, 8:30 in the morning. So when you're studying for the bar exam, if at all possible, try to start studying about that time in the morning, maybe a little earlier. A little later might be okay, but if possible, don't study from 1 in the afternoon until midnight. Obviously, if you're working, you got family obligations. I mean, there are reasons you couldn't do this, but as much as possible, try to fit the timing in with the bar here. And you'll also notice that applicants should plan to arrive 20 minutes early to locate their assigned section or room. In other words, arrive at 8 o'clock. And then you see here what I've underlined, the lunch session begins at 1:40 p.m. in the afternoon. So this means that if the bar exam gets you seated at 8:30, they read the instructions. For 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to start at about 8:40. 3 hours from there is about 12:40. So if possible, try to gear your lunch break right about there, 12:30, 12:40. Take a 1-hour lunch break, start up again at 1:40. And again, here he says instructions for the afternoon session will then be given and at 1:45 promptly. So you're going to begin the second half of the bar exam between 1:45 and 2. So there's 3 more hours right there, and then it ends about 5 as it says here. So keep that in mind. Here, I don't know why there's a box around this, but this is in the essay questions. Answers are expected to demonstrate the applicant's ability to analyze the facts of the question, to tell the difference between the material facts and immaterial facts, and to discern the points of law and fact upon which the question turns. Issue spotting, obviously. The very end, I think, is a very interesting sentence to pay attention to. An applicant should not merely show that he or she remembers the legal principles, but should demonstrate his or her proficiency in using and applying them. In other words, merely memorizing and regurgitating elements, legal tests, etc. is not enough. It's necessary, but it's not enough. It's the analysis that matters. So the best way to get good at analysis is to practice. Right, lots of practice essays. The best way to memorize is probably with flashcards or reading through outlines, but obviously that's not enough. All right, performance tests. First sentence. Performance test questions are designed to test an applicant's ability to understand and apply a select number of legal authorities in the context of a factual problem. Okay, so you've got to read through legal authorities, do some analysis, and apply it to the facts. It's effectively an essay question, only the facts aren't neatly organized for you. You have to actually find them and pick them out yourself based on the question presented. In the final sentence, performance test answers are graded on the applicant's responsiveness to instructions, so don't forget to read that assignment memo, and on the content, thoroughness, organization, and persuasiveness of written tasks. Okay, so follow the instructions, because those will guide the content, how thoroughly you need to discuss the content, how you should organize it, and the persuasiveness of the written tasks. So that's key there. Now I'll skip the MBE. And the grading section, I wanted to point out this last sentence, or, well, penultimate sentence. Graders evaluate answers and assign grades solely on the content of the response. The quality of handwriting or accuracy of spelling and grammar is not considered in assigning a grade to an applicant's answer. I'm going to call BS on that because, first of all, if your handwriting is so bad that it can't be read, I'm guessing that's going to drop your grade. And also, if your grammar is so horrible that it can't be understood exactly what you're trying to get at, I'm thinking that's going to drop your grade a bit as well. So, all things being equal, try to spell words correctly and try to use proper grammar. I think that was all that I wanted to point out. There's just one last point. Not that you want this to apply to you necessarily, but if you don't pass, you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to get copies of your exam to see, so you can look at the essay and PT questions and see exactly what went wrong. So that seems like a long time to wait since everything's already been graded. So I'm not sure why it takes that long, but it does. Okay, so that's a quick look at the bar exam requirements in California. Be sure to check out that website and kind of poke around so you can see what information there might be helpful to you before you start studying for the bar exam. Thanks for listening.